Human beings love to believe they're the peak of evolution, rational, conscious, enlightened. We repeat that story constantly. Millions of years of evolution supposedly led to this moment, a species that writes music, builds rockets, and studies the universe itself, the most intelligent form of life on this planet. That is the story we tell. But it only takes a few minutes of honest thinking for that story to start falling apart. You do not even need to look at history first, just look at your own mind. Look at how unstable your emotions are. Look at how quickly anger appears. Look at how easily you lie to yourself when the truth hurts. Look at the constant anxiety running quietly under everyday life. Something about us is wrong, and the problem doesn't look small. The philosopher Wessel Zapffe once said that the human being is a biological mistake. According to him, our consciousness went too far. We did not just evolve awareness to hunt or survive, we evolved enough awareness to understand the horror of our own situation. We know we are going to die. We know everything we build will disappear. We know the universe does not care whether we succeed or fail. And yet we still wake up every morning and act like our lives have some stable meaning. Another philosopher, Julius Bahnsen, believed human life is built on a contradiction. Our will constantly pushes us to want things. We want meaning, we want stability, we want purpose, but we exist in a universe that gives us none of those things. Everything changes, everything decays, everything ends. Maybe the problem is not just society or politics or bad systems. Maybe the problem is the species itself. We call ourselves Homo sapiens, the wise human. But if wisdom means seeing reality clearly, then a serious question appears. Are we even capable of handling what we know? Less than 100,000 years ago, we were not alone on this planet. Other human species lived here too. Neanderthals, Denisovans, different branches of the same family tree. Some of them had brains bigger than ours. They built tools, they buried their dead. There's evidence they made art. They were not primitive animals, they were people. Today, they are gone. Only we remain. The question is not just what happened to them, the question is what that says about us. Scientists talk about climate change, volcanic eruptions, lack of food, all possible explanations. But there's another uncomfortable pattern. Wherever Homo sapiens appeared, other human species disappeared soon after. Maybe we were more organized, maybe we were better at cooperating within our own group, or maybe we were simply better at killing our competitors. Violence is not a strange accident in human history, it's one of its main patterns. Archaeologists find ancient skeletons with smashed skulls and spear wounds long before written history even existed. Human beings were killing each other long before they invented language to justify it. Later, we just got better at it. Empires were built on mountains of bodies. Religion spread through fear and punishment. Modern governments turned killing into a bureaucratic system. The 20th century alone killed more than 100 million people through wars and totalitarian regimes, and we still call this progress. Maybe our species survived not because we were the smartest. Maybe we survived because we were the most efficient killers. And when you follow the trail of violence far enough, you do not find demons behind it. You find a brain. A primate brain shaped by evolution to survive, not to understand truth. The same brain that can write poetry can also explode with rage over something trivial. It divides the world into us and them before logic even has a chance to speak. We can sequence DNA and map the entire human genome, yet we still fall for the same mental traps. We believe information that confirms our beliefs. We ignore evidence that challenges us. We fear strangers for no real reason. And when we hate someone, we usually feel morally right about it. That may be the most disturbing part of human nature. The worst crimes in history were not committed by people who thought they were villains. They were committed by people who believed they were doing the right thing. The human brain does not just react, it defends itself. It builds stories that protect its identity and its tribe. What you see as reality is not the world itself. It's a model your brain creates, a model shaped by your memories, fears, culture, and language. Even your memories are unreliable. Every time you remember something, your brain rewrites the story a little. Reason often comes later, after emotions have already decided. We like to believe we are rational beings who sometimes feel emotions. In reality, we are emotional beings who learn to invent reasons afterward. And maybe the real danger is not violence itself, The real danger is how confident we are in our own thinking. At some point, this question becomes impossible to avoid. What if humanity is a mistake? Not as a joke, as a real possibility. And once that thought appears, it usually leads to another one that feels even worse. What if I'm part of that mistake? Human beings like simple stories about themselves. Heroes on one side, villains on the other, good people and bad people clearly separated. But that story falls apart the moment you grow up enough to look honestly at yourself. The villain goes home and hugs his children. The hero feels envy, pride, and resentment. The victim, given the chance, can also become cruel. The categories do not disappear, but they become blurry. The uncomfortable realization is that evil is not some external force waiting to possess us. It is a possibility already inside us. It does not require extreme situations. Sometimes it only needs exhaustion, fear, or convenience. Think about your own life for a moment. How many times have you chosen the easy pleasure instead of the difficult responsibility? How many times have you stayed silent when something wrong was happening because speaking up might cost you something? How many times have you avoided effort and chosen comfort instead? That is the uncomfortable part. The heroic image we carry about ourselves rarely survives honest self-observation. Maybe the idea of the hero is just a useful myth. Maybe we are not noble creatures struggling against evil. Maybe we are sophisticated primates trying to distract ourselves from a deeper anxiety. Not a simple fear like hunger or cold, a metaphysical anxiety. The feeling that existence itself does not come with instructions. The universe offers no clear meaning. There is no manual hidden somewhere explaining why any of this exists. We are temporary arrangements of matter orbiting a very ordinary star inside a galaxy that contains billions of others. Physics can explain how stars burn hydrogen and how galaxies form. It cannot explain why there is something instead of nothing. It cannot explain why matter suddenly became conscious. And it certainly cannot explain why being conscious often hurts. Yet despite this situation, human beings continue doing something strange. They keep creating. 38,000 years ago, in a cold cave somewhere in prehistoric Europe, someone carved a strange figure out of ivory, a creature with the body of a human and the head of a lion. It did not help anyone hunt. It did not protect anyone from predators. It did not make survival easier. It was useless in the practical sense. It was art. In a world where death could arrive at any moment and survival was uncertain, someone spent precious time making something symbolic. That makes no direct evolutionary sense, but it makes human sense. It suggests something stubborn in our nature, something that refuses to reduce life to pure survival. The same stubbornness built cathedrals that took centuries to complete. People spent their entire lives working on structures they knew they would never see finished. Others wrote poetry about love that would eventually end. Others developed theories about space and time that would only be understood generations later. Others painted horrors on canvas so future generations would remember them. Others built fragile machines and launched them into deep space, even though nothing there will ever welcome us. The strange part is that it is always the same species doing all of this. The same species that designed concentration camps also wrote declarations about universal human rights. The same species capable of genocide is also capable of compassion. The same brain that can plan mass destruction can also imagine justice and dignity. The contradiction is unavoidable. The worst and the best things humans have ever done come from the same structure, the same neural circuits, the same fragile consciousness trying to understand itself. We live in what is statistically the least violent era of recorded human history. Life expectancy has more than doubled in the last 2 centuries. Child mortality has dropped dramatically. Extreme poverty has fallen across large parts of the world. These are real improvements. Ignoring them would be dishonest. But numbers alone do not capture what it feels like to be alive right now. Today, it is easier than ever to watch human stupidity unfold in real time. Technology gave us access to more knowledge than any generation before us. It also gave ignorance a louder microphone. Every day there is a new outrage, a new scandal, a new collective argument spreading across millions of screens. Our brains were never designed to process suffering on a planetary scale. Evolution prepared us to deal with local problems inside small tribes. Now we carry wars, disasters, political chaos, and human tragedy in our pockets, constantly updated every minute. This produces a kind of moral exhaustion. It is not just sadness, it's saturation, a constant sense that something is wrong everywhere at the same time. Even when your own life is relatively stable, the world itself feels unstable enough to poison your peace of mind. Information no longer just informs, it overwhelms. And slowly, it begins to eat away at hope. Not necessarily because the world is objectively worse than before, but because now we see everything, every failure, every conflict, every cruelty. So the question becomes unavoidable. How do you stay lucid without drowning in pessimism? How do you remain honest about reality without collapsing into despair? Maybe the real difficulty is exactly that balance, seeing clearly without letting that clarity destroy you. Recognizing that humanity has progressed technologically while remaining emotionally fragile. Our machines improved faster than our minds. We learned how to split atoms before learning how to speak to each other without hatred. We learned how to connect the entire planet before learning how to speak to each other without hatred. Progress solved many practical problems. It did not solve the existential ones. If anything, it made them more visible. At some point, someone once wrote to me saying they felt exhausted. Not physically exhausted, existentially exhausted. Tired of the world, tired of the news, tired of the contradictions everywhere, tired of their own mistakes repeating over and over again. They asked a simple question that was difficult to answer honestly. Is there a philosophical argument against suicide? If life is full of suffering and frustration, why continue? It is a devastating question because the honest answer is not comfortable. There is no perfect argument that completely defeats nihilism. The universe does not provide a clear purpose. Death is unavoidable. In the long run, everything we build will disappear. Civilizations will collapse. Names will be forgotten. Even the stars will eventually burn out. On a cosmic scale, everything fades. The idea that life must have a guaranteed meaning is something humans invented because we struggle to live without it. If you look at the universe without illusions, it does not promise reward for effort. It does not promise justice. It does not promise permanence. Matter simply exists and follows physical laws until it breaks apart. Faced with that reality, indifference can seem like the most logical reaction. Why struggle if nothing lasts? Why care if everything disappears anyway? But maybe the mistake is expecting the universe to justify our existence in the first place. Maybe we expect life to come with guarantees it was never designed to provide. Stars do not shine because they believe in meaning. They shine because nuclear reactions happen inside them until the fuel runs out. Eventually, the reaction stops and the star collapses or explodes. There is no cosmic purpose behind it. It is simply what happens. And yet, while they burn, they still produce light. Perhaps hope works in a similar way, not as a logical conclusion supported by perfect arguments, but as a form of rebellion against despair. Choosing to continue does not require proof that life has ultimate meaning. It only requires the decision to keep moving forward without guarantees. The universe does not demand that you continue. There is no cosmic authority forcing you to exist. But the strange thing is that you are able to choose. A temporary collection of atoms somehow developed enough awareness to ask whether life is worth living. That alone is an extraordinary accident in the history of matter. We are primates carrying ancient fears, aggressive impulses, and endless contradictions. But we are also capable of imagination, empathy, language, and reflection. We can observe our own suffering and still decide what to do next. Humanity might be a temporary mistake of evolution, a strange experiment that will eventually disappear like so many species before it. Nothing guarantees our future. We may destroy ourselves. We may simply fade away. The universe will continue regardless. But while we are here, there remains a small space for choice. We can make things worse, amplifying destruction and cruelty. Or we can create small pockets of meaning, even if they are temporary. The meaning may not be eternal. It may only exist locally, between people, inside moments, inside fragile acts of creation or kindness. The temporary meaning is still meaning while it lasts. If existence truly has no built-in purpose, then the responsibility of creating one falls on us, whether we like it or not. That responsibility can feel heavy, but it also means the story is not finished yet. The primate brain may be flawed, the species may be unstable, but we are still capable of choosing how to act inside the chaos. And sometimes, continuing despite everything may be the simplest form of resistance against the absurdity of existence. You who made it this far have already done something most people avoid. You stayed with the question instead of escaping it. Looking honestly at human nature is uncomfortable. It removes many of the comforting stories we grow up believing about ourselves. The idea that we are purely rational, purely moral, purely in control of our actions begins to collapse the moment we observe ourselves carefully enough. What remains is a much more complicated picture. A species capable of cruelty and compassion at the same time. A mind capable of understanding the universe while still struggling to understand itself. That contradiction will not disappear. It is part of what we are. But recognizing it changes something important. When you stop expecting perfection from humanity, you stop being shocked by its failures. The world begins to look less like a constant betrayal and more like a predictable pattern of flawed creatures trying to survive their own awareness. That does not make the world beautiful, but it does make it honest. And sometimes honesty is enough to keep moving. You may still feel tired of the noise, the conflicts, the endless stream of bad news and human stupidity that seems impossible to escape in the modern world. That exhaustion is understandable. The human mind was never designed to carry the emotional weight of the entire planet. But even inside that exhaustion, there remains something strange about our species. Despite everything we know about suffering, despite the absence of cosmic guarantees, despite the certainty that everything we build will eventually vanish, we keep creating. We keep writing, building, discovering, caring, imagining. A fragile creature aware of its own mortality still chooses to act as if something matters. Perhaps that is the closest thing we have to meaning. Not certainty, not eternal purpose, just the stubborn decision to continue shaping the small piece of reality we occupy while we are here. The universe does not promise that this effort will last forever, but it does not forbid it either. And in a universe that offers no final answers, sometimes the act of continuing is the only answer we can give. And maybe that is where the strange truth about our species finally appears. We are not the wise creatures we like to imagine. We are frightened primates with advanced language. We panic easily. We follow crowds. We lie to ourselves more often than we admit. Our minds are full of biases, shortcuts, and emotional reflexes that were useful in a prehistoric forest but feel dangerous in a technological civilization. We invented tools powerful enough to reshape the planet, yet we still struggled to control our own anger. In many ways, we are a species that evolved too quickly for its own psychological stability. Conscious enough to understand the scale of the universe, but still driven by instincts designed for tribal survival. That tension is not going away. The same brain that creates science, art, and philosophy is the one that produces paranoia, tribal hatred, and fear of the unfamiliar. Every human being carries both possibilities inside the same nervous system. That is the uncomfortable reality. The worst and the best things humanity has ever done come from the same place, the same mind, the same structure of neurons firing inside a fragile skull. Once you see that clearly, something changes in how you look at yourself. You stop imagining that evil belongs to some distant group of villains. You realize it is a potential inside ordinary people, including you. And strangely, that realization can produce a different kind of humility. Not the comforting humility that says humans are noble creatures who occasionally fail, but a darker humility that accepts how unstable we really are. We are not the masters of this planet in the way we like to believe. We are temporary biological experiments balancing between brilliance and disaster. The future of our species is not guaranteed. We might solve our problems slowly and painfully, we might destroy ourselves through our own intelligence, or we might simply disappear one day the same way other human species did before us. The universe will continue either way, but while we exist, there is still this strange phenomenon called awareness, a moment in the history of matter where atoms learn to ask questions about themselves, a fragile mind capable of looking at the chaos of existence and still deciding what to do next. Maybe that is all we really have. No final answer, no ultimate justification, just a brief moment of awareness inside a silent universe and the unsettling freedom to decide what to do with it.